That is the initial plan. It does not always work out that way. It's my latest book, Overcoming Being Mentally Unstable, Engaged, in a Rage, Personal Quest to Complete Civility. I'm not going to talk about the book, but what I want to, I could pull out something from the book, but what I do want to talk about is one's upbringing, how he or she has been raised, and um, the progress or the success rate and the effectiveness of how he or she has been raised. Um, their family, uh, values, and also the influence thereof. What I found out and finding out in my lifespan of 55 years or so, more or less, right then and there you see that I wasn't either being honest with you, or if I have something to hide, or it could be used as a means of uh, some type of a joke that is breaking the monotony, so to speak. This is presentation talk, but I am 55 years old. Yeah. So as I say that, this is no joke, but what I am finding out when it comes to the influence, outside influence, and the effectiveness and the success rate of this of one's upbringing, that one of the most powerful uh, sayings that is written is to be guided on the straight path. I believe it's Islam call it the al-Fataha. You know, and it goes on, I'm not promoting any religious belief, but and I'm just, it makes sense, and those who have gotten favor, all of those who have favor, to be gotten on the straight path. It's a upward climb, because you don't want to go back. But what I'm finding out through that people and are becoming easily offended. I believe it's like a trigger in a trap. And the reason why I say they become easily offended, because the system, or the effectiveness of the of outside influence as like mentally prostitute, pimp the people, and they become like prostitutes, and they easily proposition. You can easily proposition people, and very effective, and which means something to do sexually. So if that's the case, um, you're dealing with what is called status. The status was associated with status is a psychology term. Not that I'm a psychologist, but one who has takes pleasure, has a sexual pleasure, or takes pleasure. He or she takes pleasure in doing hurt, harm, or inflicting pain on you. Let's say social stress leads to mental pain, mental pain leads to mental harm. Social stress leads to mental pain, and mental pain leads to physical harm. So yes, and but yes, this and in relationships, it's like people have been so programmed that by media, press, and television, or what anyone else says, is that when you come to say something that is different to how they were raised, um, they want to discard it because it's been effective for them. Um, and you can't, you know, impose anything on anyone because it has been effective for them. But yet, at the same time, and even in relationships, uh, people aren't able to reconcile their differences because they have been propositioned. Therefore, uh, people look for someone that could maybe accommodate or match or add to their how they were raised, and maybe they're looking for this perfection. It was something about perfection that I can't explain right now. Maybe. So but yet this they don't. They were denied. People were denied that because they're looking for something that is perfect outside of themselves. You know, and it could be take on a form of very hypocritical in nature. I'm still talking about the success, the sex rate, or the effectiveness of and the influence that the when it comes to society and people. I mean, it changed some in the but this proposition and but people are still go through life lonely, and they say, well, I am maybe satisfied and content, and I am, as a term called independent. I mean, where did they get this language from? You know what I'm saying? Because we were born dependent and independent and interdependent, which means we learn to coexist. I mean, we're here, we learn. The faculty that has been given to human beings is the ability to reason. I share something with an individual. I said we're all born equal, and he says that he's of a faith, and that faith in his knowledge talks about we're born equal. I mean, from a single clock, plot, whatever it is. But I mean, I'm not promoting anything. What I'm just saying is that it's just the use of our faculties. So there must have been a misuse of some of an individual or people faculties to place people in a position to make them feel as though that they are not equal to them. But that's through their lenses. It's not through the lenses of this perfect creation, because this perfect creation is a balance. It's a balanced entity. You know, it'd be a dangerous thing if the energy of the heat of the sun penetrates, go to a certain temperature. You know what I'm saying? Breaks through that barrier, if I may use that term. You know, but needless to say, all that is done for balance. So there is an unbalance, imbalance that is going on, um, in in the minds of the people, and that's due to influence. They've been propositioned. I believe Frederick Douglass said this in a book called I think Frederick Douglass, the Prophet of America, or some sort. He was talking about his aunt Esther, and how they called the slave master wanted to have sex with her, and she didn't want to, and he realized that his relationship with his slave master is one of sexual immorality. He converted those things, and into an understanding of what he was dealing with. And it helped, minimize as much as it can his condition, and help be able to articulate that to the society in his lectures or speeches or presentations. Prodigy, George Washington Carver, similar. Marcus Garvey, similar. What my talk is really, man, is how I see how what you say to people, something has already been in them, have gotten there before you. So what you say to them, they really are not listening, because they have developed a formula or a methodology of how they gauge and whom they are to interact with, but at the same time they want a relationship. But the first relationship one must have is with him or herself, and don't be deceived or in denial that you have a healthy relationship with yourself. And because in this at least country where I am, I mean, everybody is sick, and but just because when you go through the healing, it does not mean that the damage is not there, just that you don't allow the damage to control. And I think that's what's happening, and that the damage is controlling or being controlled, almost like on automatic habit, in the manner and way in which we interact and form relationships one with another. And it's effective worldwide. I mean, anytime one could make one to feel as though that they are inferior at the, and make themselves feel superior, that's a sickness. That's a sickness, man. Sickness. And you can share a lot of positive things with people, and but yet it's not positive enough for them. You can be a straightforward people all you can, but it's not straightforward enough for them. People are looking for this, maybe this utopia, this feeling of euphoria that's going to come through some hypnosis. I don't know what word to use. Something from beyond the clouds or the skies. You know, and people think like that. That's this goes to show you once again the influence and the effectiveness of the influence of the society or coming out from the mind. The mind of people, you could tell the psychology or one's mentality of what he or she produces. And then we don't know what produces like long rangers, long wolves, I should say. Those who just go crazy and mad. What triggers them is the proposition of being propositioned. Yeah, it triggers like a trigger in a trap. They have not been able to overcome the sickness of being propositioned, of being pimped. Yeah. So they become very psychologically and mentally and emotionally disturbed, disoriented, confusion. They go through life wondering why, so there must be a release point. Maybe they demand an answer, and the demands are not met, so they go to extremes. Maybe they're trying to counter the extreme. And then you deal with the affluent law, where one who has a lot of money, they can do harm to someone, and they just think what they're doing is there's no wrong in what they're doing. That's extreme wealth, the extreme the way that you think, and they themselves have been propositioned. They develop this demeanor, this attitude, as if there's nothing wrong with what they do and what they have done. That's the extent of the sickness. So I think, how do you solve it? Do I have the answers? The answer to the question is a question of governance, which means how we govern our daily affairs and who governs our daily affairs. I mean, what we consume, what we see, what we listen to, what we read, what we do on a daily basis. And it becomes a part of our totality of who we are. If you see your mother and your father think that they are getting away with any and everything, because we all have to face the consequences. That's why I say I'm a consequentialist. We all have to face the consequences of what we do, whether good or bad. We have to face the consequences. Now, we all have an inclination to do good, but then we have an inclination to do something other than that. So it's in the cultivation. You know, if that which is continued to be cultivated is incorrect, it's not properly done, then they're going to participate in incorrect and improper or inappropriate behavior. So if you get them the child at a young age, that later on in life it won't be as difficult for them to overcome this this sickness of proposition people, you know, pimping them. Not to mention, you know, with corruption, chaos, confusion, turmoil, chaos, disorder, derangement, delusional. You deal with what they call drugs. It's like it's become a part of life, you know, and people use drugs, and I have personal concern, uh, personal experience that you even proposition a woman, and even to you know to sell it is it's a sickness. It's a sickness, man. It's like it's become second nature. You know, it's like we we're living life as if there is no God. If we don't have to face the consequences, that's very disturbing, man. Now, the challenge is how do you rise above it? That's a powerful thing when it comes to your upbringing. That you are able to rise above it. There are many people I could say that rise above not participating in inappropriate behavior, not allowing themselves to be propositioned mentally, emotionally, and psychologically, socially as well. Yes, and politically, educationally, you know, economically, being pimped, prostituted. They are the blessed. They blessed. I'm not saying no one else is more blessed than others, but if they are on that path, that straight path, that incline going up, those are the type of people that I like to be around, keep good companionship with. It's a challenge, though. It's a real challenge. So I say, man, it's challenging in the mind in the world of abundance and in the mindset that people are still, you know, living in concentrated or abject poverty and and trying to do their best to escape economic poverty. It's a question of accessibility to wealth, or to accessibility to certain people who I see who have made it and they you know they invest, they are become investors. I mean they invest in state meeting which they make money. They can invest in wine ventures because they like to drink wine, they invest in alcohol because they like to drink alcohol. That's on them. That's what they invest in. It's their investment, so they have to do something what they call with their money, uh, because they have more than enough of it. So they just want to live a life of enjoyment, and they just having a human experience. This is a human experience, and they can enjoy the human experience. You know? then there's the model that is set, but then there's the model that have been set who enjoy life as well, and they don't participate in those type of activities. They invest in not only better themselves, but try to invest in the community or in the people. They're not amused by or entertained by the pleasure of interjecting doubt in people. You know, doubt that you can have this human experience without being intoxicated, and enjoy it without being uh, propositioned, without pimping anyone or taking advantage of anyone. You know, without being prostituting anyone, without acquiring certain knowledge to pimp people. You know, to say that I have this esoteric knowledge and you don't have it, and therefore you got to come to me to get it, and you have to pay for it, and even if you don't have it. That if I give it to you, you're not it's not good because I'm giving it to you. But this life has been given to us. This existence has been given to us from our mother and our father. But this attitude, this sickness of attitude, people can put terms on like imperialism or whatever you want to call it, but this attitude, man, that we have about ourselves and this human experience, for the most part, man, we can't blame no God, can't blame God. We are at odds. We are separated, and we are oppressing each other. And that which is oppressed people is ignorance. And ignorance is the result of hostility, as if there's nothing else to be learned. The more and more I try to reach out, the more and more my hands, the extension of my arms, are unable to touch, to reach, and to grab the hands of others. They pull back, and that has something to do with their upbringing and the disappointment, the hurt, and the pain that they themselves are dealing with, but yet can be in denial of it. So then again, the more and more we probably can reach from within, we're still dealing with the hurt and the pain. So which is safer? To reach out or to reach or go down from within? I say this in this wise, in this closing. That what's in you is going to come out of you. that which comes out of you. Is it's not of the best of you, and if that which others whom you reach out to is not of the best, comes from the best of them, instead of our relationships one with another becomes better, it becomes bitterly worse. We transition from victim to victory and continue to be victorious when it comes to salvaging the soul of humanity. I'm on your own personal humanity. And may we connect with people who understand this is important. Of salvaging the soul of your humanity and the salvaging of the soul of humanity at large. What are you afraid of? When one speaks this language, and when one tries to form a connect with connect with your humanity, that my humanity connect with your humanity. To give a social literacy, common humanity mission. I believe the motives of the value of self-worth, communicating with precision and clearer image to the world through 5 channels of communication: understanding, tolerance, temperance, confidence, and respect. And if anyone wants to donate, CH mission is the cash app. I was trying to see if I get this thing right, because I have concern with it, or a problem with it. So yes, communicating with precision, clear image to the world. 5 channels of communication: understanding, tolerance, temperament, confidence, and respect. You can visit the website of chumanity.org. Yes, the cash app is CH mission. Yes, so our mandate is to cultivate the potential of knowledge that is in us all. Till next time, talk to